Hello everyone and welcome back. We are in Guadalupe National Park. I'm not good at this, so I'm a little nervous. All right. So we're here at the Guadalupe National Park and ran into a great couple here at the welcome sign, and they had a story to tell, and so we figured we'd tell the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi YouTube viewers, my name's Zach, this is Perlina. We've been married for 4 years. She's from Nepal, I'm from El Paso, Texas. The two are roughly 10,500 miles apart. We met in college, fell in love. I proposed to her here at the top of Guadalupe Peak. And we just met these wonderful people. We have my man Tony here, his lovely wife and 2 children. And yeah, well, hello YouTube, come out and visit Guadalupe Peak. It's beautiful. And yeah,
so
happy Father's Day.
so you met, you proposed here, you got married here, and then you mentioned.
Well, so okay, so we got married. We got married in April of 2013, right? With no rings, no nothing. I think my shirt was from Joseph A. Banks, and she went and bought her dress from Target or something, or Ross. I mean, we did what we had to do. We got married, and then we bought a house shortly after that, right? Like just, hey, let's buy a house.
Married,
right?
buy a house.
We took every penny we had. We bought a house, and then
in 2014 we went back to my hometown, Kathmandu, Nepal.
Yeah, and so
and got married there.
You hadn't been there before.
No.
Correct. And I couldn't show up to Nepal without a ring for her. I would have been in deep crap. So I always had it in my mind that I wanted to propose to her on the top of this beautiful mountain, and we made it happen.
Yep.
So,
And we're having babies.
and now we're having a little baby. So.
Well, it's nice to meet you, and we've said this before, that regardless of the places we've gone, and we've been on a few trips like this over the summers, regardless of the places we've gone, our biggest memories are the people that you bump into for just 5 minutes at a time.
Sure.
And we have so many memories from that, and so thanks. It was nice to meet you.
Thank
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day,
Father's
everybody.
Day.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys have very respectful children. Wonderful.
Thank you. So we are at the visitor center for Guadalupe, and the boys are starting to work on a junior ranger badge. Do y'all see the tongue coming out? He's kind of like Michael Jordan. We are probably going to stay here at the campground. The temperature did drop to 84 as we got up here in the hills, so I think we'll be fairly comfortable at night, hoping.
Honest to help the best way I can.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I guess. Now I know the picture. Okay. So they're just 4 apart, right?
Let me see. There's the badge. There's the badge.
The campground at Guadalupe was the first surprise we had. They had plenty of sites. In fact, they had an entire parking lot full of sites, because the campground was the parking lot at the trailhead for some of the major trails. It was a place to be, and it was inexpensive. And so
I would hope so.
yeah, I don't know what we would have been paying for, really. It was just a place to park, kind of like being at
Walmart.
Lot.
But we really met some great families there. It was like one of the best times. I mean, we've had many best times before, but this was pretty cool.
One was a very nice family from Florida, Central Florida, and they had a young boy about our boy's age, and they had 2 little girls, and it was a precious family. They were on their first trek across the country, and they had a real classic. I don't know if I have a picture of it. I'll put it in here. The first summer that we traveled, we were in a 15-foot trailer with the 4 of us. The other family we met was, do you remember her name?
Heather.
Heather. They were traveling around out of Las Vegas, if I remember. And so, hello, Heather.
Hi, Heather.
And
This is our campsite at Guadalupe Mountains.
Jinx. I'd hide your cards.
Insecurity.
Joey.
Hey, Joey Wheeler, I could attack you. 3,000 plus 2,000 is 5. I don't attack.
All right.
Sounds weird. You tattooed me.
We'd gotten there and got to meet up with the families. You know, we just were having a great time with them, and just, you know what? We forgot to pay the fee.
yeah, we were socializing too much.
And guess what?
Got caught.
So watch this.
What is it? What happened here? That's
All right.
It's not a good day. I don't
Well, we can't hit him with 2 cameras.
I'm not used to doing it on on camera.
Yes, sir. How may I help you?
Could you guys pay your camping fee? Oh, that would be great. No, I just noticed you guys didn't have your tag on your so it's $8. You can pay in self-registration. If you don't have exact cash, you can always go down to the visitor center and do it that way. Sir or ma'am, depending on whose camera we're using.
The cheapest campsite in all of America, and that's the one we didn't pay at.
I know.
I sure hope you got a laugh at our expense.
It was slightly embarrassing.
It
Yeah.
was, but it was funny.
Yeah. So the next morning,
Cop played along.
yeah, he had a good time, I think. So the next morning, we decided we were going to go on a hike, which was our first real hike of this season. We're driving into McKittrick Canyon, and you see this bunny here. We have seen, about 20 of them in the last mile. They're everywhere. This hike is supposed to be about 3.5 miles in and 3.5 miles back out, or you can cut it a little shorter, but it's supposed to also be unique in that it's a canyon that's protected and does have some water. Has deciduous trees, which is unique to West Texas. There's 2 more rabbits.
And there's another right there.
I wonder why they're on the road. Don't turn, buddy! Good morning, friends.
Morning.
We are at McKittrick Canyon Hike here in Guadalupe. We met the most wonderful couples here at Guadalupe, Amanda and Mike and their family, and Heather and her family, and had a great time yesterday just socializing. And it's nice to have a break from the routine. I mean, the trip is fun and we enjoy seeing the sights, but just having a break and sitting around and socializing and cooking a real dinner was something we needed. So let's go on a hike.
lizards because they're so beautiful.
Or a bunch of different types of lizards.
So many different colors. It's so cool. And we're sitting there quietly, and all of a sudden we hear this like stampede through the brush.
I thought we were going to get run over by something.
We didn't know what it was.
And it was big mule deer. And it was only 2 of them, but it sounded...
Man, it sounded like
100.
buffalo or something. I don't know.
We didn't catch it on film. I had just turned the camera off. There were 2 mule deer standing right here, and we were watching that lizard, and they just thundered off. And if you've ever heard a herd of horses running, that's what it sounded like.
There were only 2.
There were only 2.
Yeah. That's what the lizard was running from, not me.
Yeah, probably so.
Watch out! There's a rock. We're scared.
All right, so I've been walking with this in my hand in case, because we forgot the bear spray. It's not bear country, but it is mountain lion country. So I've been walking with this just in the event. So we're going to practice and see if I would actually save us.
You got his foot.
I got his foot, so
You would die.
no, I think that would be enough that something would run off.
There's
Let
a
me-
rock behind you.
Let me try it a second time. All right.
Well, it bounced and hit his face.
Yeah, I think we're safe, guys. We think we might hear something. There is an awful lot of this scat on the trail. If anyone can identify it, leave a comment for us. We're guessing maybe coyote or badger. There are badgers here. But there's a lot of it every 50 feet. We're also seeing these burrows like this in a lot of places. So that's leading us to think badger.
Agave and a yucca is the yucca have more flat spiny stems and the agave have fleshier stems.
And the flowers are different too.
Yeah.
So if you see the flower way in the back, the one with the brighter yellow flowers is the agave, and the others are the yucca.
I'm gonna touch the white part.
That's it smooth. Huh? Is it sticky?
No, up there.
Where?
Under.
You
Under
touch
the
it.
red skin.
You touch it.
I already did at the visitor center.
Oh. Is it sticky?
No, the bottom of the red stuff. The
What are you talking about?
right here.
What?
Oh darn.
It didn't do a static shock like it did to Owen.
Oh.
Yeah, Owen said that one of these trees shocked him.
I didn't want you touching them.
An electric tree.
It's true though.
It's true though, huh? Interesting, we couldn't find the trail, and we see this line of rocks. Okay, it's first hike of the season, and we're about 3.5 miles in, but we have 3.5 to get back out, and we're all realizing now we're sort of tired. We're gonna have to figure out how we're doing with the water. How do we look?
What is that? Halfway.
About half, a little more than half.
Yeah.
So we've had a little more than half of the water, and we're at about the halfway point, which is not terrible because when we get back to the truck, of course, we have water. I think we have another 2/10 of a mile to get to the cabin we were supposed to find. Yeah, where's the canyon walls that give us shade?
That's cool. Is he a picture there?
Is that water?
Yeah.
Might not work though. Oh, no. Doesn't work.
So this is interesting. If you notice on this cabin, everything is stone, including the roof. The roofing, I guess it's all just made out of local or things from right here. Surely couldn't haul all that stone in, but the walls are cut stone, and they have, I guess they brought a stone cutter out of some sort. Alright guys, we made it to the cabin.
Yep.
And on the back side of the cabin was all these chairs and a bench. And we are, I think the plan is stay here a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go in?
I don't know. No. Looks like there was stuff in there if you were visiting.
I wonder if they rent it out for events or something. Of course, there are many reasons to enjoy camping and traveling with a travel trailer, but as I sit here at the Pratt cabin, I realized that this isolated experience is a big part of what I would enjoy. And I guess just realizing as I sit here that we don't really get this experience in our campgrounds. You're next to other families, and there's always other noises. And here, we're just listening to the birds sing, and there's no one around for miles. Literally no one. There was no one at the parking lot when we left. So we were the first ones in this morning. If I could have a week to just sit out here, that would be a great vacation. So let's just listen to the birds for a bit.
There's oil.
So one of his friends did, and then Jonah smacked his head down on the plastic table, and in class it made a loud noise, so he didn't get in trouble though.
lot of our travels, we are experiencing things that I talk about in the classroom. We were hiking through this wash, and it was an opportunity to talk about, you know, groundwater and runoff and erosion, and all of those topics were just all around us here, so I couldn't help it but grab the camera.
This is called hiking with a science teacher.
I'm seeing round stones up in the bank, like 5 and 6 feet higher than where I'm walking right now. So what that's telling me, or I can infer that at one time this wash was at a higher level and maybe further over through the valley. So these washes move over time. And as they move, they leave these rounded stones behind where they used to be.
No. Look, he's up there. There he is. Look at the holes in the rock. No, I mean up here, babe. Like a sea would be.
So the hike ended up being a really good hike. Once again, got caught wishing we had a bit more water. But about the time we ran out of water, I was really happy to see the visitor center right on the horizon. The heat has kicked up, and we're about at the bottom of the water. But
we're almost back.
But what?
But we're almost back.
Yeah, I think we're probably within 15 minutes of being back.
Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time at Carlsbad Caverns.